Well, bakers, I have some exciting news. Need to Know, the first baking entertainment podcast, is back. After a few years of taking a break, I'm excited to say that we are coming back with brand new episodes. Please join me, Gemma Stafford, and my co-hosts, Ami Shukla and Tiana Cohn, as we count down to new episodes by sharing some of our favorites from the past.
So somebody who's definitely used to having quite amazing kitchens is our good old friend Ina Garten. And supposedly she's been sharing more and more about some of her spaces, including a tour of her secret garden in the Hamptons there. So Jem, like, are there kitchen shows? Are there other chefs like that you've like idolized their kitchen, or is there anybody who you think has just this awesome kitchen that you've seen on TV or photographed anywhere?
It's funny because for different reasons, like Gordon Ramsay has an awesome kitchen. I believe like where he does the production is another kitchen in the basement of his house.
Sure.
Which is gorgeous. I'm talking about all British people now, but Nigella Lawson, her kitchen is in a London, I'm guessing a townhouse. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't look huge, but it's very well utilized. And she has a lot of equipment and bits and all sorts of stuff. And yeah, like I love the look and feel of her kitchen because it's used. Yeah. That's what you see a lot. Like, especially in LA, you look around and sometimes, like when we even went to view houses, it's like nobody uses this kitchen. Yeah. This kitchen was made for somebody else to cook in it, but not the owners.
Or it feels like a set.
It feels like a set where it's too pristine and it doesn't feel like a family would make their meals in it. I'm going to go back to what you were saying. You started with Ina. Everybody. I don't know anybody who doesn't want to go to Ina's house and have a good old root around in her cupboards, for sure. And especially that extra production space that she built, like the barn sheddy thing out the back, and absolutely. And Ina did this thing years ago. I think she only did it once, but she would invite fans to her house for Thanksgiving in the Hamptons. And I remember thinking, like, wow, like how amazing would that be to go to Ina's house, for Thanksgiving? Pretty amazing.
No, someday. So Gemma, I know that drinks aren't always considered baking, but you actually have incorporated drinks into some of the things you made, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now on TikTok, there is a big trend out there. It's not the coffee, that was last year, that a lot of people are making whipped lemonade. So I want to show you this video and then I want to get your thoughts on it.
Whipped lemonade is going to be the biggest trend of this summer. Just trust me on this. You're going to add 3 cups of ice. You're going to add 2 cups of Ready Whip. And then when you're ready, you're going to add half a cup of sweetened condensed milk and 1/2 cup of fresh lemon juice. You're going to blend it all up and then you're going to pour it into a cup and try not to spill like me. Top with Ready Whip. And you're good to go. Lemonade is going to be the biggest.
So, I saw your eyes when you saw the Ready Whip, at least as far as that goes.
I can't. And she measured it. She measured 2 cups of Ready Whip. No, no, that's not a thing. Don't make that, please. I implore you, do not make that a thing. Like condensed milk, Ready Whip, and fresh lemon juice, and that that doesn't even. Well, it doesn't actually sound good.
Well, Jen, the funny thing is that other TikTokers are putting Kool-Aid packets in there. They're putting alcohol, so making an alcoholic drink and coconut milk and things like that. How would you make this? So how would you make it a good sort of whipped lemonade? Is there any way you could engineer that?
I would.
You would not do it?
I wouldn't do it. I think of what you've told me, like I think of a creamsicle. Right. Like you can do that. So like it's orange juice, like ice cream. Like why don't you do that? Like get ice cream, pour lemonade over it, some ice cubes, and blend it into like a milkshakey kind of thing. That would be okay. Like that's not bad. I'm not on board with the Ready Whip.
Yeah.
An orange Julius, isn't that like, something that's like a creamsicle kind of?
Well, funny enough, Orange Julius just came up a while ago, and for those who don't know it, it was a staple in malls in, I would say, probably mainly the 80s and 90s, maybe before then. It was always next to the hot dog on a stick place as well.
Oh, yeah, my two
those
favorite things.
And to connect all this together, hot dog and the stick had really good lemonade. So, but Orange Julius was like a frothy orange kind of drink, and it was a powdered, I'm sure, kind of engineered frozen orange drink.
I've never had those powdered drinks. I'm sure I've drank them at some stage, but like Kool-Aid. Or I've never had those.
Okay. Well, people bake with Kool-Aid.
I know they do.
That's
just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Right. I think that was from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
So Gemma, on to other news. Krispie Kreme, our friends over at Krispie Kreme, have Carnival themed donuts like caramel popcorn, cotton candy, caramel apple. First of all, we know you love donuts. What do you think of those flavors?
I like my donuts to be donuts. You know what? I do enjoy a Krispie Kreme. I like the plain glazed Krispie Kreme, just the regular old Krispie Kreme. I think when you get to start to go into like that world of cotton candy, you're talking about a lot of synthetic flavors, and that wouldn't be my cup of tea.
They look pretty incredible, though.
Can I see?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it does look good. Is that the cotton candy one?
Yeah. With the kind of the sparkly top there.
What's the green one then?
That's a caramel apple.
Oh yeah. No,
and caramel corn.
Wouldn't be my thing.
Yeah,
I like just plain donuts.
I'm sure it's timed to state fairs.
Yeah.
And the different things that you can experience at a state fair. Gemma, have you been to a state fair
I have, Kevin, and you and I went to one. I'm just trying to think.
What do you remember that we had from there?
We had oysters.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Not so state fairy.
No, they are. I think that's a thing at state fairs. No, Zach's saying no. Okay. And he's from Ohio,
Zach's
so he
from
should
Ohio.
know.
He knows.
We had oysters. We had caviar. And
We did not.
We didn't have turkey legs. I'm thinking, did we have turkey legs? But we didn't have turkey legs.
That's Disneyland.
Did we have ice cream?
We had elephant ears.
Elephant ears.
We had elephant ears.
I remember that. That was the first time I ever had that.
And you've actually never made that for Bigger Bolder Baking.
No, I
That'd
could.
Be a fun one.
Yeah, I could do that.
You've done funnel cake.
I've done funnel cake. Elephant ears are fun.
And you've done snow cones, which are kind of fairy to some extent.
Yeah, we could do something like that.
The whole fair food industry is pretty fascinating. The fact that every year they have to top themselves, it's insane.
Well, I saw this, right now it's in the middle of summer, and these kinds of things are opening back up again because they were closed last year.
Sure.
So the LA County Fair is opening, and people, I think, they're selling out their tickets early in the morning because everybody just wants to get out of the house and to experience a fun summer thing like that. And the chef, the executive chef of the fair, was on TV doing a run through of the new foods for this year's fair. And a lot of them were just fair foods with Cheetos on top. So there was a hot dog with Cheetos on top. There was a hamburger with Cheetos on top.
Yeah.
There was there was a hot dog with mac and cheese on it.
Yeah.
And then a spicy mayonnaise on top of the mac and cheese.
I'm sure some of our listeners might enjoy some of those things.
There was a lot of Fritos on things.
Yes.
And so I have to say, I do enjoy fair food. I like funnel cake. I like fried things, especially one of the best things about going to the fair is the fair food, the turkey legs, all those kinds of things. I wouldn't be putting my hand up for a Fritos hamburger.
But that's just fried.
Me. Or a deep fried Snickers
Oreo,
bar or whatever. Or a deep fried Oreo. I wouldn't do those things. But I would get ice cream for sure. Soft serve ice cream or something. Yum.
Didn't I hear, Jem, that some of these food ideas come out of Texas, But some of them come out of Ireland?
Who said that? No.
We'll look that up for next week.
Where did you hear that from?
I heard that.
No, we don't have carnivals in Ireland.
Well, I don't know. You guys are food geniuses.
I don't know if that's. I don't know if the people come up with that are geniuses. But anyway.
Well, Jem, back to Krispie Kreme. I think it's pretty fun, like coming up with a theme like that. Like, so, is there any particular theme for donuts that like you would explore? Like, you've done fried donuts, you've done baked donuts, you've done air fryer donuts.
I'm just trying to think of seasonality. I don't know, like a birthday cake donut or like a summer, like usually you see, this is actually, I think this is a fair thing. Zach, you might be able to tell us this. You know when a donut shop cut open donuts and they put in a whole pile of strawberries, like macerated strawberries and then like whipped cream or something? You know that? Is that an Ohio thing?
I think fair food is just food to excess.
Yeah, I feel like that donut thing
I think we're also painting not a great picture of Ohio.
Yeah, sorry, Zach. Now, Zach, in Ohio, do they?
Wow, we're going to get all sorts of reader comments about this, depending on where you're located.
I want to look into that strawberry thing because that's I know in donut shops that's a big deal. And I know in LA there's famous donut shops that their thing is strawberries in donuts with whipped cream. You know what, Kevin? We should go get one of those one day. I know that there's a famous donut shop like East LA. I don't know if it's the Donut Boy. You know, the guy that holds up the donut.
Randy's Donuts?
Randy's Donuts. Is it them? Maybe that does it. I don't know.
There's
a famous donut shop across the city that and they do stuff like that.
Seems like we have some research to do for the next episode. Maybe a field trip. Maybe we do need to know on the go.
Yeah, I need to know on the go.
Need to know on the go. So Gemma, you just released the best summer desserts of 2021, along with some friends from TikTok and YouTube and a whole bunch of things that submitted some great content. So far, Gem, again, what kind of favorite desserts for the summer are you enjoying right now?
Well, being in California, like we've got lots of lovely fruit. Like I think even I open up my fridge right now, we have a lot of strawberries. We've been eating a lot of strawberries, a lot of raspberries. I love things like pavlova with like raspberries, fresh berries. I love red berries. I love blueberries too. So I think like even, you know what I really love, what I had recently was a strawberry crisp that I made here. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Now, it was super delicious. And like I would have always thought that strawberries would have needed help from something else to make it a dessert. Like something like that, like a baked dessert. But it wasn't until we did the strawberry pie and I had the strawberry pie that I realized it was like, this is a real thing. This is delicious. Like I get now why people were asking us for strawberry pie. And it seems so simple, but it's really delicious. So then I thought, I'm going to take my favorite crisp topping and I'm going to make a strawberry crisp. And we did that. And that, I think, this summer so far was probably one of my favorite desserts. I never knew if I was a fan of cooked strawberries like that, like hot strawberries, but I really loved it. But Kevin, I would love your feedback on that dessert.
My feedback on that dessert is I love and respect your opinion. And I appreciate that everybody has different points of view. It wasn't my favorite. I thought that it was too strawberry, which is to say I love strawberries, but like as a dessert and as a main flavor, it was a lot of strawberries, especially cooked down. And maybe that's a little bit of this is I'm less of a fan of like the cooked down strawberries versus say fresh.
I get that, but I thought the flavor was amazing.
It was excellent with ice cream.
Vanilla ice cream on top.
With vanilla ice cream on top and the
I
pastry.
have to say, Kevin, you did eat it all.
I was being polite. That would be very disrespectful in our household if you didn't eat everything. From that standpoint.
Yeah, I loved it. And then a while ago, we were going to make a dessert of the weekend, And I said to you, I was thinking of a crisp, and you said, just don't make the strawberry crisp.
Well, what I'm finding, the connective tissue here is that your last favorite was a chocolate and pear crisp. Mm-hmm. So to me, is it the crisp part of it?
I adore crisps.
Yeah.
Which is so weird because it's like, really, a crisp? But I have to say, there's a few different reasons why I love it. So the fruit breaks through, like a slice of chocolate cake is sugar and flour and cocoa powder. I like the different texture and flavor you get from fruit desserts, and also that it's not all, some of it comes from natural sweetness, because in my crisps I put very little sugar into the fruit.
But the crisp topping is a whole other thing.
I think the reason the crisps are so delicious is because you get the topping. Like it's
and
all.
what
it's
goes
all about
into
the
your
topping.
topping? Like, what is your?
So what goes into my topping, and I know I can talk about this extensively because I tested a lot of recipes recently. So it's going to sound kind of, but like it's oats and nuts, chopped nuts. But I experimented with a few different things. I experimented leaving out chopped nuts and putting in ground almonds, which actually makes for a different but really nice crust or crisp. Putting in oats adds nice texture, more of a texture thing than a flavor. I also, with one of my recipes, you put in a little bit of semolina for like a different texture. Like so there's slight different, like little changes that you can make to a crisp that just make it a different beast altogether.
Well, and here's one thing, and I know they're very different, but just in thinking about like crisp versus cobbler versus pies, like how do you kind of classify all of those different types of desserts?
Well, a pie is a pie.
Right.
And a crisp and a crumble and a crumble.
Crumble, there we go.
All live in the same family.
Right.
They're under the same umbrella.
Sure.
I really love cobblers because they kind of have that drop biscuit, like that drop biscuit kind of texture, like the thing on top. In my book, I have an amazing apple and blueberry cobbler. Mm-hmm. And that is one, I say this a lot, but I really mean it. That's one of my favorite desserts. Yeah. So when I think about like us making desserts at home, for the longest time, all I wanted to do was make that apple and blueberry cobbler. But then I started making the pear and chocolate cobbler or crisp. From my website, which I absolutely adore. And then most recently, I've got my new crisp topping that I just want to put on everything.
On everything.
Yeah.
All right, Gemma, given that it's the heart of summer right now, I know we've received a lot of requests and questions around turning off that oven and either doing no-bake recipes or even grilling desserts. Can you talk a little bit about grilling desserts? Like what does that look like? What can you grill?
Well, a grill, this is a good question, Kevin. A grill is once you get that hood down, like it's another oven, and you can do a lot with it. Sometimes, especially here in LA, in certain areas, it gets really hot, and some people only grill outside during the summer. So you can do, recently what I did on Amazon Live was I grilled pineapple and I made a coconut ice cream and a rum butter sauce. So you can like grill a lot of fruit directly on the bars of a grill. So you're talking something that has a bit, you don't want to pick the ripest peaches, but like peaches, nectarine, pineapple. What we used to do as kids, which is one of my favorite things to this day, is just put whole bananas on the barbecue.
Well, and we do this today, like you said, is we'll cook burgers or something on the grill, and then how do you
so you turn it off.
the grill?
So we always had coals at home. So we'd have our dinner and stuff, and just as we took all the sausages and burgers and everything and the baked potatoes off the grill, and as it was dying down, we would just put bananas straight on the grill, and then by the time it came to dessert time, your banana was black on the outside, like in the skin. Don't do anything with it, just put it straight on the grill. Mm-hmm. And it would be black on the outside, and it would be gorgeous and sweet and soft on the inside, and you wouldn't add anything else to it. I know here there's a thing of like a s'mores banana, and some people add orange juice and sugar or whatever. We didn't add anything. We just had that and vanilla ice cream, and it was still to this day, it's one of my favorite desserts.
And your caramel sauce.
And caramel sauce. But that's kind of an obvious one, like talking about like grilling fruit. There is a recipe that I did years ago on Bigger Bolder Baking about it's a brownie, I don't know what you'd call it, a brownie in an orange.
The orange.
Where you hollow out an orange and you pour in brownie batter, you put back on its little lid, you cover it in tin foil, and you put it on the barbecue for around 40 minutes, 45 minutes or so. It just depends on the temperature. And you cook the brownie. The brownie cooks in the orange. It gets really lovely and soft. It gets nice and steamy. And then you get the flavor of the orange. And you have this little orange pot to eat your brownie out of. That's one of my, I think it's an old like Boy Scout trick or something like that. It's just, I think it's a genius idea. Like I didn't invent it, but I absolutely love it. It's the same idea with the bananas. And I love stuff like that.
Those are good ideas. I think those would be a hit in Ohio.
They would be in Ohio. Zach, do you guys like that in Ohio?
I think they're not super into bananas.
I probably couldn't go to Ohio after all the stuff I've said about it. I don't.
We love Ohio. Not to end on that note there, but also you could put skillets outside in those in a grill, or as you said, even like on a campfire, you can do some really interesting things too.
Yeah, you get really creative. It's just another oven outside your house.
Yeah. So if you can do brownies, can you do a cake?
But you heard how I did the brownies, right? Like I hollowed out an orange and poured the brownie batter into it.
But like, can't you just steam a cake on a grill?
Yeah, in that
you
case,
can do it in a microwave.
It might just be easier to stick it in the oven.
Stick it in the oven.
Yeah,
but it's hot.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into the ins and outs now of how to barbecue a cake, Kevin.
I'm going to go barbecue a cake. And we're going to report back.
Go barbecue a cake and tell me how you got on.
We're going to report back on that. We're going to report back on Irish food and all sorts of things about Ohio on the next episode. Yeah. So I think we'll wrap things up there, Gemma. I think we did enough damage. But thank you so much for listening. Be sure to rate this episode, this podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. And thank you so much for being part of the Need to Know listening audience.
Yeah, and leave a comment.
Yes, absolutely.
Leave us a comment. Like rate and review, right?
Rate and review.
Rate and review. Kevin, I'm doing your job.
Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this classic episode of Need to Know. And remember, brand new episodes are coming your way this September, so get ready.